started to learn to read?
I was 4.
You were 4 when you learned to read?
This school, as of this morning, has 90% of its students are reading an hour a day. Every day.
Reading is the foundation for every other content area that we teach our children. Reading is going to get them where they need to be in the future.
What do you want to be when you grow up, do you know?
Maybe a doctor or a teacher.
What's your favorite book?
This one, the doctor.
Under Secretary Duncan and President Obama, we want to find teachers and teaching practices that work so that they can become role models that we can export around the country. So we're on the same page with you.
I already read 2 chapter books. One book I read went up to 14 chapters.
I have just seen a transformation. It's resonating throughout the entire district, and it's just amazing. It's incredible.
When we first started 100 Book Challenge, I have to be honest, I was very frustrated. And I said, I cannot do this. I was going home worrying about it. And then one day I just walked in and I said, I'm going to do this. I am so amazed with my little first graders that they can read. It's a miracle. They can read.
You can walk into any one of our buildings and ask a child what step they're on, and they can answer the question for you. They're proud of the fact that they're growing in reading.
And I'm the number 1 of this class, highest one.
Congratulations. Are you afraid that they're going to catch up with you?
Now I'm better.
This program has transformed my understanding of what it was like to be a teacher, what was important, how to spend your time.
If you really watch that child who you've conferenced with, you can see them covering up with their finger. You can see them looking and you saying they got the skill. They're knowing what to do to break through.
Did the American Reading Company or the coaches sort of help you?
There's been a lot of training.
They don't just come to watch, they come to show us.
The EARLA takes state standards and arranges them in a very clear continuum. It makes it very easy for them to place the student and then to define what the next step for the student's growth should be.
The independent reading level assessment, which is the EARLA, is a great tool for teachers to be able to use because through this they're able to look at individual kids. Sometimes when you're reading with a student, you think, well, they have some trouble with decoding or they have some troubles with comprehension. But the idea of keeping all of this information about all the skills that children need to be competent readers, this really helps you look at it.
We tie in our Storytown, and Storytown this year is a new series for us, and it has a focus skill. Okay, and the focus skills, for example, we start off with character. We talk about character as it's presented in Storytown, but then when my children do a 100 Book Challenge, they are asked to look for that during their 100 Book Challenge reading.
Maybe they all need work with retelling in sequence. So when you notice that, you can pull them together during your small group time to focus on those comprehension skills. So that allows us to do that because our literacy block is set up that way.
I think having the fishbowl professional development in which the principals attend that with their teachers has given them a greater level of instructional power with their staff. Where staff now sees them not just as the principal, the maintainer of the keys and the order in the building, but also truly as the instructional leader specifically in the area of literacy instruction.
It's making the parent more accountable and involved, and they play a part in their child's education by doing this on a daily basis.
So you see those students that are third, white is a 3rd grade reading level proficiency, and the 2nd grade is red, and the 1st grade is blue. You notice the different color cards, that represents the different teachers.
For us in central office, we use KidPace to monitor district-wide what's happening. Data's power. Data has enabled us centrally to begin to have conversations that are truly based around how children are performing or not performing.
At the beginning of the year, in 1st grade, there was nobody above here. It was all here. And the teacher sat here and we moved. And to see a year's worth of progress in the first 3 months of school was pretty eye-opening.
What I like most about the program is that it really encourages that collaboration between the teachers themselves as they work with on the data wall.
Within the city of Camden, it's been amazing watching the process of the 100-Book Challenge, not only with the children, but with the teachers. And a big piece of it is the amount of professional development that comes out of the American Reading Company, I think has made this an easier process for teachers to grow in the area of literacy instruction.
Fish.
Good. With these supports and the training and the scaffolding is just such a great opportunity for every youngster.
By the time the beginning of the new year rolls around, we may actually have the schools in Camden producing high levels of growth.
I think if we can do that, not just at this school and not just in Camden, but across the United States, we'll have accomplished something that's worth fighting for.
I think 100-Book Challenge is a wonderful, wonderful program, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
My mom says to everybody I read, I am a good reader.
And how does that make you feel?
Happy.
If we could do it in Camden, people would believe that it was possible, and everybody would rethink the way they're organizing for instruction.